Welcome to another edition of Wildcat Weekly, where we bring in different coaches, players, and people involved in the NMU sports program. And today's guest is no stranger to winning. We are currently joined by current athletic director at Northern Michigan University, Rick Comley. Rick, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
So, Rick, we have some teams playing very well right now. When you talk about, I actually just went down and watched the NMU women's soccer team in the GLIAC quarterfinals. The NMU men's basketball team is coming off a historic season. They're about to ramp up their season as well. I want to just ask you about the current state of NMU athletics and just what you think overall about all of these sports programs.
Well, it's been interesting, with me coming back because, I did this before and now my second run at being an AD and, overall pretty darn good. I like what I see. I like the personnel. Great coaching staff, very young, very energetic. What you'd love is for everybody to win, every game they play. So football's a challenge right now. I think we have a good coach. I think he'll get it going, but it's been a tough year for him. I think hockey, they like their product, and we're going to talk about Vanderbilt in a minute here. And the Barry just completed that forced hockey on the road for 6 of their first 8, so that's made it tough for them. But I think all in all, things are pretty good.
I did want to talk about the facilities and the investments in athletics, starting with the Barry Event Center, the NMU hockey venue, a new rink going in there this season. Can you just talk about the overall project and what it will do for, obviously, the Wildcats who are going to be playing there this season?
Well, it was a must-do project. So we had an ice plant that just got too old, an old system. They had to put a new ice system in. That meant tearing up the floor. I looked at an opportunity to move the boards in a bit and get away from the Olympic-size ice. I think in the long run that'll benefit the program itself. It's been a good project. The building looks good, and we're a little bit late with it, but it's hard to stay right on task as far as timelines.
Another project that's going to be happening tentatively early December is the renovation of Vanderbilt Arena. Can you just kind of talk about that project and obviously the specs behind that and what that will do for the teams playing in that venue?
Well, I think for basketball it's great. If we could go back to Hitchcock, they'd love that. And they've never liked the Barry, and I think basketball fans don't like the Barry. But I think it looks pretty good when it's set up. But the solution to me was let's find a different place for them to play. So we're going to take Vanderbilt, and volleyball's been really, really positive and supportive of this project. So that by next fall they'll both be playing in there, men and women basketball and volleyball. We're actually taking the volleyball court and turning it. Put about 1,800 seats in there. I think it'll have a great look to it, and basketball can practice there more. Volleyball can play during their whole season before basketball comes in. We get away from that setup in the Barry. It was putting the artificial floor up and down that was very taxing, tough to do. You needed about 40 people. It wasn't cost effective. So I think in the long run, it's a good project for the whole department.
And I've been to many games in Vanderbilt Arena and the Barry Event Center, and it just seems like in the Vanderbilt Arena with the smaller venue, you got the fans a little bit closer, and there's much more energy in that arena. And I think when you talk about the basketball games, I think that was a big thing. It was such a large venue that the energy there wasn't always there. So.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of problems. They couldn't practice there very much. They didn't like shooting there, and we just didn't draw very well. I think if we'd put 4,000 people a night into that building, it would have been different, but that's not the case. So I think they like where we're going, and their positive programs are going well right now. The men had a great year last year. I think Casey Thousand's got a bright future as a coach. I think they're good. Mike Lozier and volleyball have been good year after year after year. I think it'll be fine for them. I'm very protective of volleyball. I don't want them to suffer or go backwards. I don't think they will. I think when this project is all done, fans of both volleyball and basketball are going to like it.
So we got teams that are obviously playing at a high level, like I mentioned. We got NMU women's soccer winning the GLIAC regular season championship, NMU men's basketball playing at a high level. Obviously, NMU hockey is a big sport, and they're always competitive. Then you got the teams that are looking to rebuild and things like that with new leadership. So I think overall, just a lot of excitement when it comes to NMU athletics moving forward. So seems like a lot of positive things coming through as well. Finally, today, I want to ask you about a big accomplishment for you. Over the summer, you were inducted into the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. Obviously, your resume speaks for itself, a lot of success and a lot of great accomplishments for you, so I do want to congratulate you. But what does that mean for you to be talked about as a Hall of Famer?
Well, this one was special. Just the fact that, it's such a diversity-wide class with baseball and with hockey and with football and the pros, Henrik Zetterberg and Rip Hamilton. And I was so impressed with the personality of everybody that was there. It was done very well. It was an honor for me, not really expected, and it just goes back to a lot of good years and good teams and good coaches and good management, the whole aspect of it. So there's a satisfaction that goes to it. I've never looked for much, that way, but I did enjoy that.
So I'm sure you're of course, asking fans to come out and to continue to support these programs. The games I go to weekly, it seems like a lot of fans are excited about these programs and things like that. So it seems like Northern Michigan athletics are in good hands right now.
Well, I think you have to earn the respect of fans. I never think that fans should automatically go. If you put a right product on the field or the ice or wherever it might be, and you present well and do it the right way, people will come. So overall, we draw very well, and we appreciate that.
All right, Rick, well, thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Wildcat Weekly. Looking forward for much more success for the Wildcats in the future.
Okay, thanks very much.
We'll be right back with more Local 3 news in just a few minutes.